Recently, we've been speaking about the mighty river of spirit. The mighty river of spirit. And I'd like to reflect with you on how rivers work and the whole pattern of how the water cycle works. And rivers are an essential part of that, yes? We think of the mighty Mississippi River that runs down more or less the center of North America. There are other smaller rivers that come into it, and all kinds of streams and rivulets that come into them. And all together, it forms this mighty Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. Seems to me that that's a symbol of Sunrise Ranch. We are a mighty river. Yes, there are many rivulets, many streams that come into this one mighty river, but a mighty river it is, bringing something unified and powerful into the world. So think about the water cycle and how it goes. It all starts in one place, yes? Up in the clouds, one sky, and rain falls from that one sky over the earth. And in falling, many raindrops creates many rivulets, streams, creeks. And yet it started as one thing, and it comes together into one thing, into one river, into the sea. We give different names for different oceans around the world, but they're all connected. Ultimately, one vast ocean. And then it all starts again. Yes, it evaporates. Kind of like us. We all came from one place, one origin, one reality out of which we are born. Unless you came from Pleiades or someplace else, but one invisible realm out of which we're all born. Born into these individual experiences, and in some way that individuality is never relinquished, but we have an opportunity to come together just as the mighty Mississippi brings together other rivers. We have that opportunity to remember we came from one place. We're part of one reality. We have one thing to do together. We at Sunrise Ranch are here to remind the world of that, to know it deeply for ourselves. No point going around and telling everybody else about it if we don't really know the reality of it ourselves, yes? Just mouthing off. That doesn't go very far. But if we come to know that deeply in ourselves, we can bring the remembrance of that to other people. You might say one person at a time. How do we do that? It was brought vividly to my awareness recently that there's a certain amount of noise in the human experience. Could be noise in our own heads going on, right? Our own heads and hearts. A certain amount of noise, a certain amount of static. And if we're to be of service to another person, it's essential that we have the ability to cut through whatever noise is going on for them. Not to deny it's happening, not to put them down for it happening, but in some way we have to cut through that noise if we're to reach out and speak to the heart and soul of another person. In essence, saying, yeah, I know all that's going on, but I've got something else for you to consider and receive into your heart. See, we have the opportunity to speak for the mighty river, to speak for the one place from which we all come. And it is the tone and the reality of that that can cut through the noise, can penetrate the noise, and can be heard. It is the great love of that river, the light of the heavens, that cuts through the noise. Newsflash here this morning. We live in a messy world. If you hadn't noticed. Yes, I mean, can anyone deny that we have a messy world in so many respects? Messy people, messy culture, noisy culture for sure. What do we do in the face of that mess, that noise? There can be certainly a recoil. There can be a turning away from the grief of it all, turning away from the shock of it all. There can be some kind of recoil and retreat. There's all kinds of places people retreat to. One place people retreat to is spirituality. Yes. They go looking for a spiritual answer to the craziness that they've encountered in the world in which we live. Wouldn't put anybody down for doing that. It's a good place to look for an answer. But there is an answer to find in what we call spirituality. We could say within or up there. We go searching for something, and the idea of a search is to find it, yes? Ultimately, to find the mighty river within oneself. It is not to simply escape from the world in which we live. It is to find the mighty river, to know that and to let that into one's own experience so that there's something to bring into this world in which we live. There's something coming through us in whatever we're doing to cut through the noise. I've been noticing that for spiritual people, there can be a tendency in, I suppose, the shock of what a person has encountered in the world, a tendency to retreat into spirituality, never to return, never to understand that what the wonderfulness of what a person touches in spirituality, or at least can touch, the wonderfulness of that, the majesty of it, the glory of it, is not meant simply as a place of retreat. It is the source of life, after all. It is the source of the river, the source of creativity in oneself and in everybody else. It is the answer for the world in which we live. It's not only a vacation spot. To hold on to that experience, we have to open to it, not just touch it, not just kind of visit there. We have to go there, open to it, let the river in, and let it deep into our souls. Because you're not going to break through the noise of somebody else or the culture around you if you cannot break through your own noise. Yes, we have to break through our own noise, whatever that is, our own personal brand of messiness, and let a vibration of something else come through our own heart and soul, our own mind. Something else has to come through that can move through. I'm interested in the tone of life, the river of life that is the answer for me and is the answer for the world in which I live, we live.